Ease that clutch out until it grabs, and once it grabs, you want to continue to ease that clutch out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today we have an absolutely beautiful day here in the DFW. Warm temperatures, a slight breeze. It's absolutely gorgeous here. And today I'm going to teach you, if you don't know how already, to drive a manual. And I'm going to teach you on a 455 horsepower 2023 2SS Camaro 1LE. And so let's go ahead and jump into the video, but real quick before we do so, thank you to my thumbs up squad for already smashing that thumbs up button. I hugely appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you would do me a favor and smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. That way you won't miss a single one of my Camaro uploads. So let's get going. All right, so there it is, the 2023 2SS Camaro 1LE. One of the first things that I want you to do before you ever try to leave your house and go to a parking lot with someone, obviously you're gonna have to have someone that knows how to drive a manual, take you to a parking lot, and then teach you there. But before you ever even get to the parking lot, what I want you to do is get in the car. This can be anytime, any day. Just come out and practice this. So what I want you to do is make sure that this is in neutral, and you'll know very quickly if it's in neutral. Now I'm running my car because it's a little warm in the garage. I don't recommend that you turn your car on. In fact, I'm going to turn it off. That way you can see that I don't have the car on, and I'm just making sure that this thing's in neutral. Then I want you to push the clutch in, and I want you to go ahead and put that into gear. And that's first gear. I want you to learn all the gears. So keep the clutch in, come back to second, go up to third, and third is right next to first. You'll feel it just barely move over, okay? Fourth is straight down, fifth, sixth. They look really, really close, obviously, and it'll take a minute to feel them out. I've been driving manuals my whole life, so it's much easier for me to feel the gears. And once you're driving, it's even easier. But yeah, spend a few minutes doing this, and if it needs to be more than just a few minutes, spend as long as you need. Just get familiar with where all the gears are. And then I have one more thing that I'll have you guys do when you get to the parking lot before you start actually trying to drive it. So let's get going. So ladies and gentlemen, real quick on the way to the parking lot, I just wanted to explain something about driving a stick shift. Number one, you're gonna have more fun driving your car if you own a stick shift. But the problem nowadays is most car companies don't even make manual cars. So you might want to get one while you still can, because they are going away. And number two, you will help save the manuals. And number three, it's actually a nice theft insurance, because there are so many people these days that don't know how to drive manual transmissions. If they look in your car and see that it's a manual, they're not even gonna break into it because they can't drive it away. Okay, so I always try and make things as easy as possible when showing videos like this. And one of the things that I wanna just point out is you really wanna try and find as open of a parking lot as you can. This one is fairly open. It has a very long distance between where I start and where I can go, to be able to not have to really worry about curbs or light poles or anything like that, because there is a problem sometimes where new people driving a manual can get the pedals mixed up, and when that happens they can panic, and then it could be a very sticky situation. And so you really want to find as open of a parking lot as you can. Before you ever try to accelerate out of a stopped position, I don't want you to do that first at all. What I want you to do is put your car in, use the parking brake so you can let off the brake. And what I want you to do is I want you to practice. Leave this in neutral, and I want you to practice with the clutch in. I want you to practice pushing the gas and letting the clutch out. Okay? Just a few times. You don't have to do it a bunch. Just really practice barely pressing the gas and releasing the clutch just like that, okay? Barely pressing the gas and releasing the clutch, because you really want to learn how to release the clutch slowly until you feel it grabbing. And once you feel it grabbing, then you can let it out a little faster, but you still want to be super smooth with your movements on that clutch and super smooth on the gas. Now, there is an obvious advantage to learning how to drive a manual transmission with this car, because it has so much power and so much torque. You really barely have to press any gas at all. And I could even show you no gas at all and a startup just like this. So you see that? I can start up the car using 0 gas. You saw my foot was completely off the gas. I'll show you one more time. Foot off the brake, foot off the gas. And just because I know what I'm doing and there's enough torque, you don't even have to use any gas. However, 99.9% of you out there are going to need to use gas in whatever manual you're learning to drive with. After you've gotten used to leaving this in neutral and doing, this movement here with a little bit of gas, letting the clutch out smoothly, I want you to go ahead, put it in gear, and don't worry if you don't get this the first couple of times. It's not the easiest thing in the world at first to grasp, but you're going to want to take your foot off the brake, put your foot over on the gas, barely push on that gas, and then ease the clutch out, and you'll feel it grabbing. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll start easing the clutch out, they'll feel it grabbing, and then they'll go like that. And they'll just let the clutch out, and we stall the car when that happens. You definitely don't want to do that. You definitely want to ease that clutch out until it grabs, and once it grabs, you want to continue to ease that clutch out, just like that, okay? Very, very simple movement. Don't overcomplicate it by trying to, think you know better on how to clutch the car, how to move the gas and the clutch. Just be smooth on the gas, very, very little gas. As you can see, I'm at like less than 1500 RPM, and then very smooth on the clutch, just like that, okay? So now we're going, and that is how you start up. And once you've gotten the car rolling like this, now you're going to need to learn how to go to second gear. All the rest of the gears are much easier. You're going to push the clutch in, don't touch the gas, pull it down to second, don't touch the gas, and let the clutch out just like that. See how smooth that is? Same with third. Push the clutch in, put it in third, let the clutch out, then you can get back on the gas. Now, a more advanced person obviously will be able to do things a little differently than that. But that is how simple it is to, once you're driving, once you're already rolling, switch gears, okay? So let's go back to a stopped position, because the next thing I want to show you, once you start up, just like that, is I want to show you another thing that most people do when they're learning to drive a clutch. They forget that they have to push the clutch in when they come to a stop. So their automatic thing that they do in every other car they've ever driven is just take your foot off the gas and push the brake. Now watch what happens. Okay? That's what's going to happen 100% of the time if you don't push that clutch in. You have to push the clutch in order to stop. So what I want you to practice next, once you get this start down and shifting is a piece of cake, you're not going to really need to practice that anymore. The other thing that you're going to need to practice a lot of is coming to a stop. Because not only will you forget to press the clutch in sometimes, But sometimes you'll press the clutch only and forget to brake. And that's an even bigger problem, okay? So you really want to learn in the very beginning, the simplest motion to do to come to a stop is push the clutch in, pull this into neutral, and then brake. Don't worry about doing any downshifting. Don't worry about doing anything else. Just get the car stopped. So again, start up, stop, neutral, clutch in, brake, okay? I want you to practice this quite a few times because, again, I've actually taught quite a few people how to drive manual transmissions, and this is the #1 thing that they struggle with. You would think it would be getting started would be the #1 thing, but I've been very successful at teaching people when I'm sitting here in the passenger seat and them driving how to drive a manual, and the startup is actually the easiest thing. It is the stopping that they have a problem with. So make sure to practice this stop over and over and over again. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start up here, and I'm gonna explain something as I'm driving around this parking lot to get out of the parking lot. One thing that I wanna let you know is until you are 100% comfortable going through the gears like this, I would not recommend trying to downshift when you're on the road like this as you're coming to a stop, okay? It's just too many things going on in your head. You want to make it simple as can be when you're first starting to drive, especially out there on the road. You want to just do the clutch in, neutral, and let the clutch back out and brake. That way you're not having to push too many pedals, and you're not having to worry about if this is in gear or not. You know it's in neutral. It makes life easier, okay? So I want you to practice this in a parking lot until you are so confident that you can make a move like I'm doing right now and say, you know what, I'm going out on the road. And you're gonna come out to the road and you are going to start driving. Shift the gear to second, now to third, now to fourth, and so on and so forth. Okay, again, do not start downshifting to help you come to a stop until you have 100% gotten comfortable with stopping like this. Okay, here we go. I'm coming up to a U-turn that I want to make. I did all the things I told you to do, put it in neutral, took my foot off the clutch, and I braked. Used to everything, and you're 100% confident with that, you can start using gears to help you slow down. And I'm going to turn off the rev match because 99% of the cars don't have that. So what most of you will experience when you're downshifting to help slow the car down and kind of give you something to do while you're coming to a stop is you're going to feel that right there where the car kind of uses the engine to slow itself down, okay? Same with first, okay? It's using the engine to help slow it down. So as you can see, my foot was really not even on the brake. That's a more advanced technique though that you will learn as you get more and more comfortable driving a stick. But by the time you finish this video and you get out there and you start learning to drive a manual, I think you're going to be pretty comfortable after you've finished everything that I've told you to do in this video. And I really believe that in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, you will have starting and stopping down the way that I taught you. Then it's just a matter of staying in a parking lot like this and getting extremely comfortable doing both of those movements. And once you get that comfortable, get out on the road and start doing them on the road. And then from there, do as I said and start learning the more advanced technique of downshifting to slow the car down instead of using all brake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is gonna conclude this video of how to drive a manual Camaro. Now, this is not just how to drive a manual Camaro, obviously. If you know how to drive that, you're gonna know how to drive any manual transmission car out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really hope you learned a lot. I hope I help literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people learn how to drive a manual transmission. Ladies and gentlemen, help this video get out there. Share this like crazy for me. I know there's quite a few learning to drive a manual or how to drive a manual videos that have reached millions of views. I would love to have that happen with this video. So help me out by sharing this all over the place with your friends and family who need to learn how to drive manuals. Hopefully I've made it super easy for you guys. Again, if you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. If you enjoy this Camaro/Corvette channel, please do me a favor and smash that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next upload.